Are you okay? Do you want?
I thought that was gonna come out better.
Okay. So how
You
about
have a
them
bit.
Cowboys?
Fuck you. Okay, you know what? That's fair. You know what? Let me ask you a question. Do
All
do
right.
people in Mexico give a shit about American football at all?
Sometimes depends on the people that you hang out with. There's people who are really into it. But for example, my family are into all sports.
Uh-huh.
So when it's football season, they're all fighting because they're on different teams. And then when football season ends, I think basketball starts. No, baseball starts,
Yeah.
and then they also have different teams. And then baseball season ends, and then I think soccer season start soccer is always ongoing. And but yeah, there's always one ongoing, so there's always one happening. So yeah, family is really into to American football. I know people who are really into it, and they like carve their teams on their backs. It's kind of embarrassing to see from afar, and that's coming from someone who dresses up as characters and goes to comic conventions. Um,
I,
so
I,
yeah,
I was gonna say, man, wait, are you one to point the sword? Because I've seen you dressed up as fucking Link.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, no, I'm not embarrassed by that because Zelda has never disappointed me. You know, but that's the difference. That's why this is so different from like if we sat down and we talk about sports, we could go pretty much all day. But this, talking about movies, it's not competitive. Like it never has been.
Yes, it
So
can
that's
be.
why. I mean, it could be, and if it was, I would win. But you know, that's what's kind of interesting about this project. So do I care about American football? Not particularly. I am one of those assholes that likes to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and for the Super Bowl and for the hot wings. So I don't know if I'm the best person to talk about that specifically, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
Uh,
My mom is a Cowboys fan, like you. My
God
dad
bless her.
hates the Cowboys. My dad is a Ravens fan,
I
and
can. Hey, ask him about Lamar Jackson. Being overrated. Ask him about that. I want to know his answer.
all right, I'll make like a little post-it for myself. And my sister roots for the Seahawks. That's her team. Yeah.
Tell her they're wasting Russell Wilson's career, and she'll agree with you.
Okay. I'll let her know.
God,
See what see what
I need
she
to I need
says.
to have a podcast episode with just your family. We can talk about football.
It
All
could
right,
be it could be pretty funny. It could be pretty
now
funny. Not
that
gonna
now
lie.
that the tall one is out of the room, what do you all really think of Chema?
But all of them will probably say overrated. Like
Oh,
5 out of 10. We've had better kids.
damn. Wait, actually,
He was the
also,
test drive.
you want to say the prototype never really ends up how you want it, but the first official model, pretty good.
He's serviceable. He
He
managed to find a job all by himself.
needs some
He's doing
updates,
all
but
right.
whatever.
Needs some updates. Needs to stop watching so much anime. But he's chilling. He's kind of weird. He's wearing a Canada hoodie, which is a place that he's never been to in his life. So
A
that's pretty fun.
fun
Why?
fact: they actually say A in Canada. They actually say that. I was once on
Yeah.
the phone with an insurance agent from Canada at work, and she was like, "You have a good day, eh?"
Hey,
That actually made my day. That actually made my fucking day because I was like, "Oh my god, they do that."
you were like, oh my god, the writers of How I Met Your Mother were right.
They were.
I have a
Also,
friend. Yeah,
no, you first.
I have a friend who's from Canada, and it's always funny because like we like joke around on like Canadian stereotypes, but then she would say "who's" instead of "house," and I think that's always funny.
Hoost. Let's go to your
Like,
hoost.
yeah,
Wow.
like it's very subtle. Like you can barely notice it, but it's
Oh
it's
my god,
funny.
the hoost is burning down. There's still children in that hoost.
I will not be able to take it seriously if that were to happen. So now that we've alienated the Canadian audience, are you ready for some top tens?
Fuck yeah. Thank you for welcoming us onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie.
And I am Chema, reviewing the top 10 of the year. And this is the
the
rollback.
rollback.
All
Folks,
right.
the one thing more consistent than the one holiday of the year more consistent than Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween combined, it's our top 10. We've done it every year since what, 2014?
2016?
2016? Was that the
No,
first year?
I believe so. Yeah.
Huh, fair enough. So
Can
we're
you
here,
believe that?
motherfuckers.
Can you believe that? The only I'm afraid that I'm so concerned that you say that we were as consistent as Christmas. I was gonna say we were as consistent as the Cowboys not making it into the Super Bowl. So, oh well, another year come by. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I will end this podcast right now. We will disband, and all 8 of our fans will be pissed.
All right, so we have our top 10 favorite movies of the year 2021. These are not the best movies of 2021. These are our favorite movies of 2021, but they are kind of the best movies of 2021, according to like every letterbox list in the world. So you know the drill. We've done this every single year without failing. We go one, I go one, and we go back and forth until we reach our one. Do you want to do honorable mentions now or before we do number one?
I say we do honorable mentions. I wanna shock you with my honorable mentions.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay.
All right.
So, almost in no particular order. I'll save the shocker for the end. So, Fatherhood, on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart. Have you heard of it? Have you seen it?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Emotional powerhouse performance from Kevin Hart. I didn't know he had this in him. Same thing with True Story, the series that he starred in.
Mhm.
Fatherhood was a gut punch after gut punch after gut punch. Legit made me cry like more than
Wow.
once. The long and the short of it is the movie is about a man who he becomes a parent, and almost immediately after their daughter is born, his wife dies of a hemorrhage, of a bleed on the inside. The thing is, like, they didn't even know, like there was no way to prevent it. There was no like, oh, if they had just done this, or this is unrealistic. Like, no, it was unpreventable, and it was like heartbreaking. And just his reaction, like when he's told, like, I'm sorry, your wife is gone. He's like, my wife's dead. And you see him breaking down, like it does not compute to like it hitting him, to crying, to like you see all these faces, and then you see him playing a man that's lost his wife. His friends are trying to do right by him, but they're kind of overstepping. His mother and his mother-in-law, trying to help him, like, hey, we can help you with this, let her live with us. Like, everyone doubts him, like, you can't be a father. It's such a good movie, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
All right, cool.
Nobody, I know movie I know notorious that you didn't like.
Yeah.
But it was just stupid fun, and it was actually hilarious, but it was stupid fun, and I liked it. I need those movies. And talking about stupid fun, Wrath of Man, stylistically a great action movie by Guy Ritchie starring Jason Statham. Great revenge movie, a movie with twists I didn't fucking see coming. Like, as the movie goes on, you get more and more reveals, and it makes more and more sense, And like I said, the actions are great. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, great movie. I liked it. A little too short for my taste, but I enjoyed it. I love the first Venom. And lastly, and this will probably be the shocker, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Wow. I was convinced that was gonna be like your number one. Wow, I am shocked. Okay.
Yeah. So the reason for it is this. I don't think. Let me be clear. If this movie, if this had been the one that come out in 2017, it would have been my number one, easy, by a country fucking mile.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think it's fair to do this movie twice. Also, this movie, it was forcibly made because the fans made it happen. Let me be clear. I love this movie. I have sat down to watch this 4-hour behemoth multiple times. There's a lot of great storytelling in it. I love this movie, but I feel like it would be disingenuous to have this on this list. So I'm counting it as an honorable mention. It can be, if you want to count it on my top 10, it's my, number 0 secret favorite or whatever. But
all right.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League, incredible, amazing, a milestone, a movie I legit I got out of work early, went to a movie theater, bought a huge bag of popcorn, came home, sat my ass down for 4 hours, and watched it in one sitting the day it came out.
Nice.
But that's my honorable mentions.
That's
Mate, you're
it.
up.
Have you seen the black and white version on HBO Max?
Justice is great, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't, but I kind of want to. Yeah.
The only difference is like a handful of scenes. It's not too different. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, you're not. The only real difference is like two scenes with the Joker, and that's it. And it's not. They're not even long scenes.
Mm,
So
okay. All right. All right. So my honorable mentions. First of all, Lamb, really weird ass A24 movie. Really enjoyed it. Very quiet, but very. The ending packs a real punch, which is great. Probably the most A24 movie A24 has ever done. Cruella, weirdly, really enjoyed that one. The music was great. The style was great. The setting was great. Wish Dragon, really cute little Netflix animated movie. I watched it with some cousins and they were having a blast. I was having a blast. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Kind of forgot this one came out this year, but I remember really enjoying it. So that's a good one. My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. This is an honorable mention, probably because I had a blast watching it with you. So that's also like a big thing. Raya and the Last Dragon, really cool animated movie. But I think it got kind of lost between all the shuffle of all the great animated movies that came out this year. The Fear Street trilogy. Really enjoyed all three of them. Had a lot of fun. Really, that was a great 3 Friday back to back when we enjoyed those. The Green Knight, great movie visually. I enjoyed it. I know it divides a lot of people. I enjoyed it. Pig, I think that's my nobody that I really like, but you kind of did it a lot. But I really enjoyed Nicolas Cage in this one. Don't hit me. Godzilla versus Kong. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But it's an honorable mention for me, not because it's bad, but because I liked everything else a lot more. I'm sorry. We're probably gonna discuss that a little bit more. Black Widow. I really liked. Fun action movie. A great shout out to Natasha Romanoff and her character. Don't Look Up was fun. Realistic in a bad way, but fun. Nightmare Alley, which I just watched last weekend. I enjoyed it. Del Toro is a fucking genius, and this movie is great. Army of the Dead was a really fun movie. Spencer was tragic and but very entertaining. Probably my favorite score of the year. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I also counted as an honorable mention. Probably the unofficial number 12 of the list, if you want to put one. Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train, the movie. I saw it kind of late, but really enjoyed it. Again, I think Demon Slayer, I know this is not an anime list, it's not a show list, but some of the best uses of animation that is being done in this generation is happening in that show, and it's present in that movie. And Ghostbusters Afterlife also had to cut that one. Really enjoyable movie. And the last two cuts I had to do, Eternals and Shang-Chi. Both I really enjoyed, but they stayed in the honorable mention list just because I wanted to make the list very diverse and include more than just Marvel movies, even though this was a heck of a year for Marvel. Like, no one will deny that.
You know, I just noticed looking at my list, I don't have any animated films. And that's because there were some good ones. I just can't. I remember liking several. I'm not going to say them because I don't want to spoil, I think, your list, because I know a few that are going to be on yours.
It's possible.
But looking back on it, yeah, you're right. There were a lot of good animated films that came out. They didn't really register with me. There's just a lot of live action movies. Now that I'm looking at it. Shit.
The conclusion is that this was a great year for movies. Like we got some bangers.
After 2021, we had some really good movies in the tank.
Yeah. And this is where we start counting them. So
yeah.
Want to do the honors?
Sure. Okay, my number 10. I'm sure you're not gonna necessarily enjoy this one, or you didn't love this one. Halloween Kills is my number 10. Okay. Return to Form. So anyone that watched the review, I'll give a condensed talk about it. When Halloween in 2018 came out, I was living in Kingsville. I saw it. It was fucking awesome. Not living in Kingsville. I was in Beeville for the academy. I saw the first Halloween. It gave me escapism. I loved it. It was the first time I ever saw a slasher, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I can't beat that guy in a fight." So I was really looking forward to Halloween Kills. I waited over a year. This movie was delayed for over a damn year, and it was great. I love the fact that it was a continuation from the last Halloween. Granted, Laurie wasn't in it very much, but it was a logical like jumping off point from the last movie. This movie happens immediately after. It explains how Michael Myers gets out. The kills are gory and insane. You see the little town of Haddonfield fighting back against Michael Myers, and I love that because correct me if I'm wrong, mate. I can't remember a single film franchise where the community fights back this much against a threat. Like I can't. I none of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, none of the Friday the 13th, not even Scream. I can't remember a film series where they ever really fought back and were able to do so much. So nah, I really, really did enjoy this film. Halloween Kills is my number 10 because it was a pardon the phrase, a bloody good time.
It was a bloody good time. I do agree. I think I'm gonna enjoy it more when I get to see the third one, and you get to see them all back to back to back. But I ended up really really enjoying that one. That was your top. That was number 10. My number 10. I made a last minute change when I was editing the list a couple days ago because of our last review. It really helped. So number 10 is Belle.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah. I have really an admiration for his director Mamoru Hosoda. I love all of his movies, and the more that I thought about Belle, and after reviewing it with you and with Jimmy, and thinking about it more, and I kind of sat down and like wrote like everything that I thought about the movie, and I ended up with a bigger appreciation than I had when I first came out of watching it. I think it was a little bit of the expectation, but goddamn, everything about this movie is beautiful. The character designs are great when they're both in and inside of the actual world. I like how it balances out that digital world life and that coming of age story, and it also manages to come to have a third storyline about grief. We talked extensively about this movie in our last review, so I'm not gonna stretch it out. But Belle is a great animated movie, and it's another score for director Mamoru Hosoda. Kind of sad that it didn't get nominated for an Oscar, but I understand it's politics. His last movie, Mirai, got nominated, and that one was also great. So if anything, if we get more Hosoda for like the rest of my lifetime, I'll be a happy film fan. So my number 10, Belle.
And I completely get it. I enjoyed the film, not on my top 10, but I liked it. I thought there were some good lessons in there.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 9 movie you probably haven't seen, The French Dispatch.
I have not, but I really want to, and I can't believe you have a Wes movie in there. Wow.
So Wes Anderson might be my best kept secret. I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm actually, and some of these, and I'll explain some of these later on as I go. I'm sure there's at least a few more surprises, but Wes Anderson's actually one of my favorite directors. He's very dependable. His movies are always really weird, but I like it. The first movie I ever saw from him was Moonlight Kingdom. Moonlight or Moonlight Kingdom? Anyway. Moonrise Kingdom. Thank you. It's been a while. But that movie was so weird, but I like the dialogue, the style, the story. It was just fundamentally a good movie that I dove in, and man, the Fantastic Mr. Fox is great. What's the one he just made with Voldemort a while back that was incredible? The Budapest Hotel. The Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah. To me, fucking phenomenal. Like that might be his magnum opus, but this movie was great. This movie, the format, can I say it or you don't want to?
I've seen the trailer, so I'm familiar. Yeah.
So the format is basically a bunch of short stories that encompass a magazine. It says pages 3 through 13, the story of so and so, and then you follow the story, and then the next part, pages so and so to so and so, and just a lot of great acting, a lot of great stories, great dialogue. He makes use of this thing where it's like you put the camera and everyone's moving and they all stop in place, but you can still clearly see people blinking and stuff. So it's not perfect, but like I love that he incorporated that and so many other things.
I figured you'd like that one because you used to work in a magazine.
I forgot about that. Yeah, there you go. The French Dispatch, just great movie. I recommend it to anyone. That's probably the most art house movie I have on my list, but damned if it's not a great film. You owe it to yourself to watch it.
I will. It just got added into Star Plus, so I might watch it before the Oscars just so I can have more knowledge on all the things that it's nominated for.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's your number 9.
Yes, sir.
My number 9. We all love a good underdog story, don't we? And if there's something that we all love a good underdog story, and it's kind of cool when we see the underdogs start to get better and start to rise up to the ranks. And this underdog is still not top dog, but he's doing really good things, and it's amazing what you can do when you have the right man at the helm. My number 9 is the Suicide Squad. Okay.
Really?
So the Suicide Squad. This movie was a pure blast of heroin. It was fun as hell. Like, I cannot think of a movie that I've had this much fun, like constantly back to back to back, joke. It's like Shrek 2. Like, it throws joke after joke after joke. And if one doesn't work, it doesn't matter because the next one does. Okay, it's got action, it's got fun dialogue, it's got incredible effects, it's got a blasting soundtrack, and man, there's nothing to not like about the Suicide Squad. James Gunn, this is probably his James Gunniest. This is probably the most free that we're ever gonna see him. And I love when a person who's genuinely creative gets given all the budget in the world to just have a blast. And that's exactly what he did in this. Thank you, James Gunn. I haven't watched Peacemaker, but I'll make the time to do it. But this so far, man, a fucking blast. You have no idea how many times I've randomly yelled out, "Look, it's your mom!" Just at nothing, just at very random things, because this movie is fucking awesome. I have no special critic or fancy words. This is just a blast. And I needed a movie that was this fun this entire year. So I kind of regret not watching it in theaters. I kind of regret it. I did watch it at home through HBO Max, but man, it was a blast. So yeah, the Suicide Squad is my number 9.
Okay, fair.
I'm guessing we'll talk about it more later. But
Probably, yeah. Not to give too much away.
have you?
Huh?
You noticed that? Is this going to be the year where we don't agree on one?
Possibly, because I have some. You mentioned a few of mine already, and I guarantee you there's someone on my list that you haven't seen.
It's possible.
So it's possible that this might be the first time we've ever not completely agreed on one. Shit. Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. Surprise me with the next one. Number 8, The Little Things.
Ooh, from like the start of the year.
Yep.
Wow.
The Little Things. Have you seen it or no?
No, not yet.
Incredible detective movie. Not necessarily on the level of Knives Out, but definitely stressful. It has Remy. Oh God, what's his name? Remy
Malek.
Thank you very much. Remy Malek and Denzel Washington, a combo I didn't know I needed, but they're incredible. This film, it takes place back in the 90s, so that's like it takes a lot of the whole, why don't you just use your phone or camera kind of, like, it takes a lot of that. I think that was on purpose to, like, no, this is raw. This is the way that they can try to solve this. A great detective story through and through. You see the inner workings of these characters, what eats away at them, why they do what they do, how they do what they do, these detectives that are trying to solve these murder cases. It's insane. And I love the acting. I love the story in general. But I think what really ties this movie together is the ending, which you're called. Do you want me to spoil it or no?
No, I think I'm going to watch it.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. The ending, that ending is like, wow, I did not see that coming. And then you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. And then, oh shit, it's just a lot of that. Like, it's surprise after surprise after surprise. And it's just as it unravels. Again, it's kind of like Wrath of Man. The more you watch it, the more it unravels, the more you're invested in the story. And you're desperate to see the both characters, find their ending. Um, like hopefully it's the right one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Because I mean, detective movies, murder mysteries don't always necessarily have. It's like, are you gonna get Knives Out or are you gonna get a Seven? And it's fun not knowing which you're gonna get.
All right. Sounds good.
So number 8, I recommend it.
All right, number 8. My number 8 is also a bit of a mystery, and it's about what happened last night in Soho.
Really?
The new Edgar Wright movie that came out blasting. And man, I adore this movie. Like it was kind of weird like when it first came out because people were like conflicted, like, oh, do we like this? Is it, do we not like it? Like what is happening? And I like when, much like I mentioned on Suicide Squad, I like it when artists get all the money in the world so they can just like do what they want. I like it when creative people get experimental, and I like it when they get out of their comfort zone. We know that Edgar Wright can do a good action film. We know that he can do a funny film. Could he do horror? And this wasn't exactly a horror movie, but it had suspense, it had thrills, it had great performances, it had fantastic ambience, it had great atmosphere. You really felt like you were back then at that time. And it's phenomenal. This is such an elegant looking movie, and the soundtrack is great. The sound design is great, and it's beautiful. I love this movie, and it's not the best Edgar Wright movie, but it is a damn good new thing to have in his catalog. So I adored it. That's my number 8. Last Night in Soho.
Honestly, I really did enjoy Last Night in Soho. I think what killed it for me is just the fact that it wasn't more of a murder mystery.
Okay.
But it was good, honestly. I really did enjoy it. I forgot to put it in my honorable mentions. But Last Night in Soho, I get it. I get why you loved it so much. I can understand that. That would put me on number 7. Am I right?
Number 7.
Number 7 is a film that you actually already mentioned. So my number 7 is actually going to be, if for no other reason than the performance of the lead actress, Cruella.
Wow.
Emma Stone knocked it out of the park, and she impressed me 110%.
Okay.
This movie it was crazy. It had shades of The Devil Wears Prada, but like the manicness of the Joker to some degree. Like this was a character performance. Straight up, this movie, if Emma Stone doesn't show up to work, this movie doesn't happen. This movie fails miserably on every level if it's not for her. I use this phrase a lot. She carried this film on her back, but Jesus Christ, if she didn't carry this goddamn movie on her back. Her performance from like In Order to this zealot, this insane woman, who's the good guy in her story, but the bad guy in all of ours. And you get why she hates Dalmatians now. I'm a dog person, but even I'm like, okay, I understand. I don't agree, but I understand. Yeah, no, this movie it was insane through and through, and I'm so happy we got to see it. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I'm so glad that they're gonna do a sequel because she threatened to sue the fuck out of them. I'm so glad we're getting a sequel.
Yay for legal problems.
Disney is still a bunch of shitholes.
So that's your number?
My number 7.
7. Well, I can't badmouth Disney yet because I'm gonna say some really good things about them. Because my number 7 is Encanto.
We don't talk about Bruno.
No. That was the banger of the year. I cannot believe that was not the song that got nominated for an Oscar. Like that fucking blows because that's the best song in the movie. So yeah, no, Encanto was great. We recently reviewed it a couple, I think like a month or ago, and it is a blast. It has so many colors. The songs are great. The story is fantastic. The climax is one of the best of the year, and I like movies that take place all in just one place, like a bottle movie, and the fact that this all takes place in like this little house, or like it's actually a big house, but it's in a small town. And I like how timeless it looks and feels. I like the songs. I like this family. I want them to be happy. So this movie just charmed the fuck out of me. And yeah, it's bloody great, man. Um, as per my last few lists have been, 5 of my movies are animated and 5 of my movies are live action. Not on purpose, it just keeps happening. And this was a great year for animation, and this was a fucking blast. I fucking loved Encanto. So that's my number 7.
I can understand that. Fun movie. I have nothing but positives to say about it. Again, it didn't hook me as personally as other movies, but no, good movie. I can't. See, doing these lists, there's a lot of positivity here, folks. But that's because we really can't bash each other's films too much, because it's like, no, I get why you liked it. Not my cup of tea, but now if you were to put like something like fucking, God, what was a movie that we despise? If you were to put Resident Evil on your list, I would shit talk you. Like I would. I'm sorry, I fucking would. But in this case, no, I got nothing negative to say.
These are good stuff, man. These are good movies.
And
all right.
So this is our number 6, right?
You're number 6, yeah.
Okay. So number 6 is a bit of a cheat. And if you don't like it, you can tweet me at CHEMARZA. That's my tweet handle. You can tweet me if you don't like it.
Nice plug.
Thank you. My number 6 is, and I'm cheating here, the Fear Street trilogy.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Reason for that is I like horror. I think I like horror more than the average person. I did enjoy Malignant. I didn't love, but I liked The Conjuring 3. The fucking disappointment that was. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy Halloween Kills, but I really did like Fear Street simply because of the event that it was. It was a 3-week event. The movies were fun. The characters were so likable. It was crazy because it dipped into like the first one was like Scream territory. The second one with a completely different cast. You loved them. It was like a Friday the 13th. They're at they're like a lake camp thing, and that was fun. Then you get to find out the mystery of who the bastard is in the third one, which is also kind of like the witch. Like it's just, there was so much going on, and it wouldn't have worked. There's no way this film would have worked if it was one film. There's no way this film would have worked if it wasn't a full trilogy, but I'd be down to watch all these movies in one shot, in one massive cut. I'd be up for it because fundamentally it's a good film series in general. Fear Street is a lot of fun. I remember eating a lot of popcorn, eating a lot of chocolate while we watched it and enjoyed it because it just felt homey. It felt comfortable. It felt comfy. Fear Street, my number 6. Yes, 6.
All right. No, I remember when we did those reviews and Nikki joined us, and we had a blast because they were really fun movies. And I think that's one of our longest episodes. But it awarded it because we had a
lot to say.
Yeah, and those were great. I remember having a blast with those. Okay, so number 6, right?
Yes.
My number 6 could not be more different from yours. And that's okay. That's the point of this list. My number 6 is another animated film, and you can find it on Netflix. And it's a little movie called Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. Long title, kind of a forgotten child. It came out like a weekend, and I remember getting off work that Friday, and I remember like rolling into bed and just like, oh, this movie came out, let me watch it. And I was glued to my screen. And I am convinced after watching this movie that I've seen every color in existence. This is such a summery looking movie with like very soft, warm colors. And it's about coming of age, and that's my shit. It's about this boy and this girl. They meet in a mall, and they're both kind of like really weird, or shy guy and socially awkward girl. He writes this really strange, intricate personal poems in the streets or in buildings, and she has this really weird social media following. She never shows her full face because she has this really cute buck teeth, and they kind of meet in the middle, and they start bonding, and they start just hanging out and doing things, and they start helping this old man in his failing record shop. And man, it feels like a memory. It feels like something that you kind of wish, or that it did happen to you. It kind of reminded you of those like young summer days where you had no cares in the world, and the biggest care was like, oh, is this girl gonna text me back? Oh, is this gonna happen? Like, oh, am I gonna like get this part-time job? Like, am I gonna move? Like, these are all really wonderful, intricate things that really only anime nails. They really are the best at like showing those kind of feelings in animation. And this movie was beautiful. Really short. I think it's less than 90 minutes long, and it's a blast. Sometimes I just put it on in the background to have something really nice playing on my TV, which I don't have my TV at the moment. But
did you do something wrong?
No, it's in the shop. The speakers weren't working. But I liked having this movie like playing in the background or something, because every time I would look at it, I would be like, those are nice colors. Like, it would really calm me down. Like, sometimes I would be like at work all stressed out, and I would have the movie playing on my phone, and I would just be like, those are some nice colors. It was like, I don't know. It's a movie that worked for me, and I'm shocked that it didn't grab the bigger audience, because I think it's really, I mean, it really is made for people that like animated things, that also like coming of age stories, and that's my shit. So it really worked for me. But that's my number 6. Words bubble up like soda pop.
Okay, all right, I can dig that. I got a movie I bet you haven't seen from my number 5.
Go.
The Harder They Fall.
I don't think I've ever even heard about this one.
What?
Tell me
really?
about it. Tell me about it.
So The Harder They Fall is a film. It's, God, I need to pull the cast then, just so you can be shocked by it. It's a Western revenge movie that has this amazing soundtrack. It's this incredible film, and I will go on record. I'll fist fight anybody when I say that this is an incredible film. This might be the best Netflix original film of the last year.
Wow.
And I know that that's a big statement, but I'll fucking back it up. How Do They Fall, directed by Matt. I did a video review of this one. Directed by The Bullets.
The Bullets?
The Bullets. Hey, who the fuck is The Bullets? Either way, just listen to this cast and tell me you're not, wow, that's a pretty good fucking cast. Okay. So we got Idris Elba playing Rufus Buck. Regina King playing Judy Smith.
She's great.
Zazie Beetz playing Stagecoach Mary. Jonathan Majors.
He's fucking fantastic.
Lakeith Stanfield.
He's oh my god, you got half of the cast from Atlanta in there,
dude. This film is incredible. And it just, they only keep getting better. And Damon Wayans Jr. somehow plays a bastard, and I'm shocked at that, but he does.
Wow.
This whole film is just, it's an incredible. It's a revenge story. It's action packed. There's again, I can't say there's none. The score in this film is incredible. I have some of those films on my playlist for a fucking reason. It's a great movie that if you haven't seen, you should. Based on real people, not necessarily on real events. The characters all in this film existed in real life. One common misconception, and hell, I'll admit, I didn't realize this. I had never known this. I never thought to do research. And so when you think of Cowboys, what do you think? I'm not the football team. Like, when you think of Cowboys, who do you think of? You think of John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, typically Anglo people, right? Dealing with savages or whatnot.
I think of Woody, but okay.
There you go. And what is Woody if not Anglo? Yeah, am I wrong? Mr. Hanks?
He's voiced by Tom Hanks, so yes.
But there were, and I never thought about this, there were African American cowboys, with their own stories and whatnot. There's never been a spotlight, I think, done in this capacity, at least not as far as I'm aware. And this film is it's powerful. There's so much emotion. And it's crazy because I think they kind of gave Idris Elba a big like this was his film, but I feel like it was his name's Mr. Washington. Am I right? What's his name? I'm not sure. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly here. Mr. Jonathan Majors. I'm sorry. He
Yeah.
plays Nate Love, and I'd say, man, this movie put him on my radar permanently. If I never see him act again, I'll still say he's one of the best actors that have ever lived. Like his
You
performance in this film is incredible.
you will see him act again. He is the next Marvel baddie. He is the next Thanos. So
That's right. He's playing Kang the Conqueror, right?
he is, yeah.
But he is incredible in this film. This film, I use this term, how Emma Stone carried Cruella.
Yeah.
That man, he carried The Harder They Fall. If you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't seen this film.
Sounds like a plan. I think I'm gonna make a plan to watch it. And it's on Netflix, you said?
Yes, sir. It's on Netflix, and I think I'm comfortable in saying it's probably the best Netflix original film of the past 12 months.
All right. I think another movie on my list might battle that, but we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I think I know that bridge.
We'll see.
I saw that bridge.
You might have number 5. We said right. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. Jumping in from a really cute story like Words Bubble Up, like Shut Up, we'll jump into the complete opposite, into the horribly deranged and absolutely madness and just incredibly dark and entertaining world of Malignant. That's my number 5.
Okay.
I adored Malignant. And I like James Wan, and I can watch The Conjurings and I can watch the Sinisters and everything. This might be my favorite movie that he's ever done. And that's a big stretch because he has a career like none other. He is probably one of the most unique directors working right now. And Malignant just felt like a flex. Like, you know what? I have some time to kill between Aquamans. Let me just see if I still got it. And my God, he still got it. Like, what a great exercise in camp, in giallo, in just to knowing to giving the audience something so fun, so entertaining. The twist, I dare not to say it because I said it in the review. It feels like the drop in a roller coaster. The second that twist comes in, it's, oh God, I don't think I've had a most enjoyable 5 seconds in movies than when that happened. I had an absolute blast watching Malignant. And I've watched it a couple more times since then, and it only kept getting better. This is one of the most well-built-up movies, one of the most well-paced movies of the year, and it is a steal that it's not nominated for anything. This is Best Picture in my mind and in my heart. Go Malignant. This, oh God, I'm Team 1 now. Like I am Malignant to the core. I fucking love this movie. That's my number 5, Malignant.
That movie was stupid fun, and you're right. You know what? I can get on board with that. Malignant's great. You're not wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine a world where the monster Malignant goes toe to toe with Michael Myers.
The monster Malignant will probably win.
Will it though? Michael Myers took on like an entire village and was like, "Fuck y'all."
You want to do a tale of the tape kind of thing, like how we did with Godzilla and Kong, or like?
I mean, that's fine. Dude, tell me about all the people your guy murdered, like all those poor ladies in like one little drunk tank, and they're all not even trying to fight him. Michael Myers beat up an entire like 15 people jumping him at the same time, and they all had weapons. They all had a fucking break and a 2x4. Michael Myers said, "What you got? What the fuck you got?" and kept going.
He's got exactly the same. He's got exactly the same odds as winning as the Cowboys have to getting into the next Super Bowl.
Oh my God, get a new fucking joke.
You know what's the worst part? If you asked me, like, name one player I could not tell you.
You know what? Name any player that's ever played for the Cowboys.
Tony Romo.
Oh shit. Okay, you got one. You got me one.
All right, I have that one. That's the only one I have.
I
could not tell you another one.
Your mom has his jersey, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
That's a lot. Buy her a Dak Prescott jersey for her birthday. She'll appreciate it. And the little
All right.
motherfucker can't hold it together. Anyway, it's not Dak's fault. Anyway, I'm getting off topic mentally. Number 4.
Four.
I don't think you've seen this one. And let me preface this. This movie was the finale of sorts for a character that I've always liked, and more importantly, for the era of this character that I love the most. This character, this was his final outing as it officially. After I was terrified he wouldn't return to the role, he agreed to come back for one more shot, and what a shot it was. This film feels like 2 or 3 different films all jammed into one because of how much that takes place in it. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 4, No Time to Die.
There it is. I knew it.
What gave it away? Because I saw your face trying to figure it out. Like, what?
Yeah, it took me a second, but yeah.
No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so fucking good. It's so good. Okay, I'm not gonna be spoiling things, but it's so fucking good. It's the right finale for Daniel Craig's James Bond. He actually had a big say in the way that this film was gonna be made. And this film, a lot of tropes that you would expect to be in like other movies, like, oh, this trope is the finale for a movie. This trope is the finale for a movie. This film takes like 3 of them and jams them all into one. Like, oh, like you think we're gonna wait to tell this story? Fuck you, it's here. You thought we were gonna wait to tell this story? Fuck you, it's in here too. You thought that we were gonna go that way? Nope, it's in this one too. Like, so much shit happens in this movie. It's I think like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I want to say it could have been 4 hours, and I still would have enjoyed it if he could have pulled Zack Snyder's Justice League and gone all the way. Because so much happens. There's so much great action. There's so much practical effects. The scenery. People don't talk about this enough. The scenery in James Bond films is beautiful, and this film is no fucking exception. Okay, it is still beautiful. You could take almost the same compliment that we gave Dune, where almost any frame could be a background. Same thing with James Bond. You could almost get any frame from any part of the film, put it on a wall, and it's a piece of art. Not only is it shot beautifully, not only is it everyone like dresses fucking incredible. Like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but everyone dresses great. The acting, the performance. James Bond has never been this raw, has never been this emotional. They go in a direction that Bond legit has never gone in more than one way. Again, much like The Harder They Fall, you're doing yourself a disservice if you have not seen this film. And as Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond, I do not envy whoever has to follow this film, whether who's going to be cast as 007, who's going to have to direct it, who's going to have to write it, whoever comes next. I'm sorry. Like, I am so sorry you have to follow this film. Like much like they will not live up to their predecessor. Much like my son, like, good luck, kid. Like, you have a ways to go.
Wow. All right. That's high praise. Damn. Do you have any idea who the next James Bond is gonna be?
There's several rumors. There's several directions they might go in. They might go with Idris Elba apparently is one of the front runners, but they also have a bunch of other gentlemen in the running. They also have a woman in contention. Miss, if I can find her name real quick.
You know who I would kind of like to play James Bond?
Who?
And this is really out of pocket, but the guy who plays Roy Kent in Ted Lasso.
No, he's too English for it though.
That's the one complaint they always get about James Bond. He's not English enough.
So we're gonna go the other direction. Fuck.
All right. That's like my, yeah.
That your dream casting?
I mean, him or Phoebe Waller-Bridge really either could do good.
Miss Lashana Lynch is also in the running to play 007.
Okay. All right.
But cool. Yeah, again, this man, like, wow. So you're number 4, sir.
My number 4, we're gonna go completely opposite direction. It's not an action movie. It's actually a drama. It's a nice family drama that I think is unique enough to grab enough attention, but also it sticks the landing. This could have been a very sentimental, over dramatic, sappy, bad movie, and it's the opposite. It's actually really good. Little movie called Coda.
Oh, I like Coda.
Coda was great, man. Coda was great. It's about Coda, which means child of deaf adults. It's a story about this girl and her family, her parents and her older brother, they're all deaf, and she isn't. And she's trying to kind of, live her life as her own. There's a lot to like there. The performance by the main girl is great. The performance by the family is great. The performance by the music teacher is great. Even the performance by the quasi boyfriend is great. The friend is great. The setting is good. I like how this feels like an actual problem that would exist. Like, how does this family survive if they live somewhere that no one can translate for them, and their daughter is the only one that can? But then she also has dreams of her own that don't exactly involve her family. So what does she do? Is she selfish and goes dream without them, or does she stay? If you're Latino, you're forced to stay, but she's not. She's an American, so she can try, and that is the American dream, I think. And I enjoyed Coda a whole lot. The interactions were great. This is really weird, but it's really nice to see a couple, like her parents. This is weird, but like each other. Like, they're so enthralled and in love with each other. I love the scene where they tells him, like, oh, you have to stop having sex because you have like this thing. You can't have sex for like a month. And he's like, a month? Look at her. Like, how could I resist? And oh God, everything about this movie is just great. It's sentimental enough, it's funny enough, and I adored it. Coda is a hit. It's so weird that it got nominated for Best Picture, but it's not gonna win, but it deserves to be there. It was a great movie, and it's a movie that I think it's for everyone. It's got really emotional, deep scenes, and I adored it. I freaking adored Coda. It's my number 4.
Okay, I can dig that. No, Coda, I respect that one. I did enjoy Coda. I did enjoy it.
All right.
So there's a slim possibility we're about to hit maybe the one film that we might be the same on.
I'm scared.
God, I don't know. This is probably the only chance. This is actually the only chance we're gonna have to hit it. My number 3 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. No,
sorry.
no, fuck. Okay,
Sorry.
Fuck.
This is a first. This is a first.
wow. So we did it. We did not hit at all any of them. Wow.
And I think I can predict you number 2 and you number 3 and you number 1. I think after this.
Probably.
Okay. No, go ahead.
So Spider-Man: No Way Home, the film that made me look at Tom Holland and be like, all right, you earned it, kid. Good luck. Because neither one of the first two made me go, yeah, good luck, kid. This one did, though. This one had the most emotional, the most raw, the most injured, the most destroyed I've ever seen Spider-Man since the original Tobey Maguire trilogy. And I'm including the death of Gwen Stacy. You see this kid put through the ringer. He tries to do right. He tries to do good. He tries to save lives. And all that keeps happening is people keep dying around him. His loved ones keep dying. He keeps, quote unquote, failing them. He gets hammered to a point of desperation where he has to call upon a spell to try and, fix everything. And it gets out of control. And now villains are running amok. These bad guys that can take it to him like no one else can. We see the return of a lot of nostalgia in this film. Doc Ock and Green Goblin in particular. William Dafoe, and I don't even know the guy who plays Otto Octavius, but that guy, man.
Alfred Molina.
Him. Both were amazing. Oh my God. It's been a while since I've been in a crowd that was that active. That was that invested. And I remember buying my tickets for this film, just jumping from theater to theater, trying to find the best tickets that I can at any time that I could. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Also, I haven't even mentioned it yet. The returns of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, something that was I remember seeing fan art. Like, imagine they do a Spider-Verse film, and they did it. And props to them. They prevented the leak as much as they could. Marvel told Sony, hey, try not to tell, don't use in the marketing. If they had, imagine they had said, "Hey, Andrew Maguire and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be in this film." Like that's a marketing slam dunk. I guarantee you, they had to. There was a fight at Sony about whether or not to use them, and whoever won, like they were right. Incredible film through and through. All those moments, so many great moments of cheering. Plus, also there was a redemption arc for Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire plays like the dad. It's kind of like, I've been through the shit, kid. I got you. Um, Man, if they do another one where all three of them are together, I would love it. And it was so much fun seeing all three Spider-Men work together, taking down these villains, and you see that they're a threat. Because I remember
Yeah.
thinking, why is Spider-Man having so much trouble with fucking Sandman and Venom? Like, one, I understand. Two, like, it's Sandman. But this film did a great job of hyping, like, no, these villains are not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
So that's my number three, Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right. I think that's the highest you put a Marvel film in your list. Think so.
No, didn't I put Avengers Endgame pretty high?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Eh.
Okay. My number three. I wish we had coincided. That kind of sucks. But okay. My number three is gonna come in a little short after everything you said, because I think this movie kind of speaks for itself, and because much like the movie itself, it didn't have a lot of dialogue, or at least not that was memorable, except for like a couple of phrases. But it's a movie that exists more on vibes than on plot, and I think more studios need to embrace that. But it's kind of hard when you're the biggest animation studio in the world. My number three is Luca. And
Okay.
yeah,
I
so
forgot about Luca too.
Luca, Pixar's latest masterpiece, because that's what it is. It's a masterpiece. It's a beautiful, very simple, very bright movie about innocence, about being young, and about growing up, and about it's another coming of age. It's another animated coming of age, which, as you can tell, is pretty much my shit. But I sometimes forget the fantastical element in this movie because everything else is so good. The setting is good, the animation is wonderful, and everything about this movie. It didn't start great. I don't love how it starts, but after he gets out of the water, man, the movie just goes up and up and up, and it never comes down. It just keeps going up. It is a wonderful effort by Pixar. It shows why they're still the kings of animation, and man, I adore the fuck out of this movie. There's so little to dislike. The characters are lovely. The setting is adorable, and man, it's just this is Pixar taking their own take at like a Ghibli movie, and it worked because it is the closest that Western animation has felt like anime, and I adored it. So yeah, number three is Luca.
Huh. Okay. I like Luca. I did enjoy that one. Again, for some reason, animated films this year just didn't hit me as much as they normally do. But I can get that. I remember how much you enjoyed Luca.
Yeah.
Great original film. Yeah, I get that.
Hard to dislike Pixar,
They're the kings for a reason.
yeah.
So my number two, I'm sure you already know this one. The Suicide Squad. Yeah, my number two, some of the most fun I've had in movie theater in a very long time. A film directed by James Gunn, who, thank you for loaning him to us. We like him. We're gonna try to buy him soon. As soon as he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, you can bet your ass he's getting a call from DC. Hey, part two or what?
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad returns or some shit like that. You know he will. A Grindhouse director. This is a Grindhouse film if I've ever seen one. A movie that's a hard rated R, but that makes it work. From the gore to the cussing to the violence to the story, all around. There's a sex scene with Harley Quinn in it, which is a little weird. Because you don't expect that from superhero films in general, but DC said, fuck it, we're gonna go there. Deadpool did it first. Yes, I know, but nonetheless, wow. Anyway,
It seemed like she was having fun, so
Did you know Margot Robbie did that whole scene where she gets the keys with her feet and unlocks it? She actually did it.
Yeah,
That was her.
it is. Yeah.
No CGI. But anyway, no, the film from top to bottom is awesome. He made me give a shit about. He did what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but better. He made me give a shit about characters I should not give a single fuck about. He gave me an easy reason to like, not Deadshot. I want to call him
Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba's character, but not Bloodshot.
Yeah.
I wanted to call him
Bloodsport?
Bronze Tiger for some reason. Bloodsport, thank you. Uh he gave me like, wow, I like this guy. Like he actually has some Moxley. Ratcatcher, who has no fucking business being like a fair character, is awesome. Polka Dot Man somehow is great and hilarious, and you feel bad for him. Like, it's very sympathetic. He made John Cena into a superhero, like a qualified, like a douchey Captain America, so much to a point to where he has his own TV show and it's fucking great. I recommend it. Just all these nobodies, and he said, "I got this," and he made this incredible film that's funny but touching and also action packed, and there's so much of this film to love. The dude like takes these A-list actors at the very beginning, like we're talking Pete Davidson, Michael O'Rourke, is that his name?
Michael
no,
Rourke,
Michael Rooker.
Jay Courtney is there.
And he kills them in the
Nathan
first
Fillion?
fucking act, in
Yeah.
the first like 10 minutes. And they're also killed in hilarious fashion. I remember the part where Nathan Fillion was like being shot in the arms. He's like, I broke down. I cried laughing. You know what, folks? I'm going to bring you a little more behind the goddamn curtain. I peed myself a little bit. I laughed so hard. It was hilarious. I broke down laughing. It was hilarious. The whole film through and through, all the jokes, everything hit. Like, there's not a single piece of to quote, there's not a single piece of fat in this film. This film broke me down laughing. And the whole crowd that I saw this film was loving it too, which I think is also lends to the experience. Man, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. God damn, this movie was amazing. I hope DC, Warner Brothers, you're close to almost as rich as Disney.
Nah, don't even joke.
No, I'm not talking DC. I'm talking Warner Brothers, the company. I'm talking the company that owns AT&T. Like,
okay,
they're close to like Disney.
Doesn't AT&T own them?
Yes.
Okay.
AT&T, bust out the pocketbook, get that one director. Okay, make him what Zack Snyder wishes he was. Make him the Godfather.
That's so mean to poor Zack.
Am I wrong?
True. No, it's true. But like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Damn. You're number 2.
No, I mean, I Suicide Squad was also on my list, so you know, we at least agree on that movie being on our list. But we're also gonna agree on this one because number 2 is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Shit, we were so close.
We were so close. Man, there's very little to say about Spider-Man No Way Home that hasn't already been said by you, by me, by Fernie, by literally everyone else in the stratosphere. That it's a home run, that it is a blast, that it is one of the most enjoyable Marvel movies probably to have ever been made. That it's one of the best Spider-Man movies that's ever been made. That's probably one of the best superhero movies that's ever been made. And it does it all in the very, very, very petite shoulders of one Thomas Holland, and he manages to do it right. He manages to bring a lot of justice and a lot of creativity, and a lot of kindness to this character. And you know, he's here and he has to face villains from his other self's past, and he's aided by the previous 2 Spider-Man. And there's a lot to like about this movie. I watched it again in theaters and I could see a little bit of chinks in the armor. There are a couple of things that I don't like now that I've seen it more times, but I cannot deny that it's a fantastic experience, that it's a fantastic movie. And man, there's so little to dislike that I can't even talk about it. Like, it's just great. Like, if you want to hear us like geek out on it, go watch our review. But everyone and their mothers will agree that this is a bloody fantastic movie, and that it paves way to the Spider-Mans of the past, and it paves way to a Spider-Man of the future. And we'll see how that story goes. But if this is the last time that we see Spider for a while, for like a couple of years, I am more than satisfied. Like, this made me be like, okay, you know what? Take your time. Whatever you want to do next, I will enjoy it. But for now, thank you for this. It's going to make me happy to keep watching it constantly. So yeah, number 2, Spider-Man No Way Home. And we move on to number 1, which I think I can guess what your number one is. I know what your number 1 is. I know what your number 1 is for like the last 5 years. Go. I know you want. I know how much you want to. So go.
So you haven't seen this movie. My number 1. No, you haven't. Maybe. Have you? So DC released an animated film this year. One animated film that I really enjoyed.
You're bullshitting. Just.
Have you seen Batman: The Long Halloween?
No, I have not. Is it good?
Okay, look. Okay, so my number 1 is Batman: The Long Halloween. It's cheating. It might be cheating.
You're bullshitting.
I'm counting parts. What?
You're bullshitting.
Yeah. It's Godzilla versus Kong. Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. Honorable mention though, Batman: The Long Halloween is actually pretty good. It's pretty faithful, actually. You should watch it, folks. Count that honorable mention. That's number 0. Number 1, Godzilla versus King Kong. Because you know why?
I was like about to be like, just shut up and talk about the monkey. Just
fuck the monkey, the goddamn dragon one.
Go.
Look. On one side of the ring, we have a giant god dragon of myth and legend. On the other side, we got a giant fucking monkey with opposable thumbs and an axe. Gee, I wonder who's gonna win, folks. But you know what? No. Shut the fuck up. Here's the thing. Okay. You know why I love this movie? I'm gonna take you back in time to little Eddie. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a story.
Yeah.
Little Eddie, when I was about 3-4 years old, I had just seen Godzilla 1997, God rest its soul.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Godzilla fan. I was into dinosaurs, and I really enjoyed Godzilla. So I went to my local place. It was called Top Video, right? Where you rent VHS. Folks, kids, a VHS, fucking Google that, all right? I don't have the time to explain that to you. A VHS, though, contained a film, right? One film. I would go every single Friday night when my parents would go out. They would leave me at home with my sisters. They'd babysit me. We all got to pick a movie. They would watch theirs in the living room. I'd watch mine in my parents' room. And without fail, I would always pick a Godzilla film. I would pick Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which was, I went like, what? They have this? Godzilla versus fucking King Ghidorah, Godzilla versus the Swamp Monster, whatever the fuck. And then I found it. I found a certain copy of it that made me lose my goddamn mind. I was 5 years old, and even I knew King Kong? What? And they did it. Back in the 60s, they made a Godzilla versus King Kong, and I lost my fucking mind because for the first time ever, I watched the King of the Monsters struggle in a fight. And in that film, he technically, it's true, he lost. Mm-hmm. So since that time, I was waiting over 20 years for this rematch. I waited over 20 fucking years for this fight. And then I find out Godzilla is going to come out in 2014. In 2012, I saw the teaser. I'm like, are they going to do it? And then it comes out. It's a hit. I'm like, are they going to do it? And then they announced Kong Skull Island. They're going to do it. And finally, they announced it. Godzilla versus Kong. That's the thing that scared me, folks, because I knew behind the scenes, the agreement between Legendary and Toho was coming to an end. They were either going to renegotiate the contract or Legendary was going to continue without any Toho monsters. What do? The wrestling logic in me says Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla was just declared king of the monsters. How do you get Kong to be King Kong? He has to dethrone the king. So I went into this film scared out of my mind that Godzilla was going to get beaten by Kong. I was watching this as if I was watching a heavyweight fight in the theater. You got to understand something. This is the first time I was back in the theater post-COVID, right? Okay. Granted, I had seen this film once before. It's a little jumbled. It's a little jumbled. Um, but watching this film in a theater in IMAX, I'm watching these two heavyweights slug it out, and I'm worried because I'm worried that Godzilla's gonna lose. I'm actually no, I'm cheering this. You understand? I'm watching it as if it's an actual boxing match. Like dodge, 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 get him. No, atomic breath. Fuck, that's not working. Like I'm just cheering, 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 trying. I want Godzilla to win this fight. This childhood icon of mine, arguably as much, if not more so, than Batman or Superman. Before any of those heroes, I had Godzilla. So at the end, in round 3, I knew it was going to be at least 3 rounds. So at the end of the 3rd round, when I see him stepping on Kong and Kong passes out, I cheered. So I jumped up like a fucking like a dude watching a boxing match with his hometown guy in it, just screaming, yes. I came this close to cussing at a little kid because there was a kid over there that was cheering for King Kong. Get him, use the axe. And all they wanted to do, I understand there's a 20-year age difference between us, but all they wanted to do was look to my right and say, fuck you and your monkey. I fought that. Nikki, God bless her, sat next to me the whole time as I'm cheering and screaming. She's just embarrassed of like, I married this man. I willingly married this. He's a sweet person. I love him. Having to reconvince herself that our marriage was good because of how I was acting during this film. But it was so much fun. I also got to watch it with Fernie and Shu the first time I got to see it. It was an incredible experience through and through. And then surprise, except for not me, I knew Mechagodzilla was in it.
Yeah.
And then I get a special bonus round, a triple threat, well, not triple, handicap fight, Mechagodzilla versus Kong and Godzilla. At one point, when Mechagodzilla has Godzilla on the floor and he opens his mouth and he's about to blast him, I was offended by that. I was offended, as if someone put their hands on my own, like Ace, my dog. Like, get your fucking hands off him. I was offended at that point. I thought, no fucking way they're gonna do this, Toho. I swear to fucking God. And Kong stepped in, and I'm just like, all right, monkey, you can get this one. All right, you didn't beat the king, but you can beat the wannabe. Go ahead. Which he does. Godzilla takes such a fucking beating. Like, he takes the worst ass whooping I've ever seen in any giant monster film, almost in any film in general. He just gets the shit kicked out of him over and over and over. But he comes back like Goku. He keeps coming back. I've rewatched that film probably 3 times, at least the fight scenes. I have the Godzilla music on my phone that I work out to. The dun, 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 dun. I have that. All right. I use that when I'm doing squats because I need to. Okay. Folks, like Atlas itself, this film holds the fuck up. You need to go watch it. Godzilla versus Kong is my number 1, and man, I cannot wait for the next installment of the Monsterverse. It was just announced very recently that Apple will be having a Monsterverse TV series, to which, guess what, I'm going to be a subscriber because, oh God, long live the king. And that was the most fun I ever had. I had in 2021. Godzilla versus Kong.
I knew it was coming. Did
you knew it was going to be that or Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? That's what
I knew. The second that you discounted Zack Snyder's Justice League, I knew it was going to be this. You can go back to a very old episode of FBA where we talk about how, hey, there's going to be Godzilla versus Kong and it's going to come out in 2020, and I think that was like 2016. And I remember we specifically said, if this show breaks up, we have to return to talk about that movie. And if you can believe it, we didn't break up. We're still here. So that's kind of magical in its own way, I think. I loved Godzilla versus Kong. I had a blast. I wish it was more Godzilla versus Kong and less, 11 running around, but it was still good fun. Yeah. That fight when they're fighting in Japan and you can see like everything is at nighttime, but they use the neon lights to like light them up. That was great. I adored that effect. Yeah, because they could have just easily been like, oh, we're just gonna do it at night and just not show anything. but no, they did it. So
See,
well done.
if there was one positive thing about the pandemic is that I gave them time to like shine it up.
Yeah.
Like they touched up everything. You can tell they were busy. If the only good thing that came out of this pandemic was that movie looked even better, it was all worth it. That's a
Yeah, because
lie.
it was supposed to come out in 2020, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was a lie. Like we could have done without the pandemic, honestly. Uh, yeah, my
Okay, that's
number
fair.
one, yeah, my number one. Uh,
Don't bullshit me.
I haven't said anything yet. I was gonna preface this. My number one is based on this book, and it's a very long book, and it's very heavy, very dense, and very it's very hard to explain because a lot of people just didn't get it, man. They didn't get the hype. They just went in and they couldn't realize how big of a masterpiece this movie was. Sure, it's like half a movie, but like, you know, what are you doing?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
I, I'm bullshitting. Dune is not my number one. Dune is not even an honorable mention. My number one is the Mitchells versus the Machines, of course. Netflix movie made by the same team who did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you can really tell because there's just nothing, literally nothing to dislike about this movie. And it's probably because it's a movie done by people like me, for people like me. It's a movie about loving movies. It's a movie about being kind of the outcast of your family. It's a movie about having a really funny dog. And it's a movie about saving the world with probably the least equipped people to deal with it. This is one of the most loveliest love letters to movies that I've ever seen. The main character, Katie, is a fucking blast. She seems like a great time, and she's a great protagonist to carry this story. Her parents are sweet, tough, and a little distant, but that's how parents are. Her relationship with her little brother is adorable in a way that we rarely see siblings act. The closest thing I think is Gravity Falls, and the dog is great. Like there's just very little to dislike about this movie. Every voice fits, every piece of animation works. This is a 2.5 hour movie that
Is it?
feels like it. Yeah, and
It flies by.
it flies by so fast. And man, in the peak of the pandemic, just when everything just kept just getting delayed and getting bad, this movie that just kind of came out of nowhere. Like a lot of people were not really expecting it. It was just like, oh, from the same team that did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, I'll watch that. And what a blast. What a great family movie. What a great movie for like anyone that's ever felt just a little bit alone, just a little bit like an outsider. This is the movie for you. This is the movie. Like every time that I sit down with people or like we talk about movies, like this is the movie that I'm thinking about. It's fantastic. The animation is wonderful. It's fast. It's energetic. It feels like music. It's got its own rhythm, and it's got a giant devil Furby. And there's a lot of things that you can't do in movies, and yet for some reason they do it here, and they work. Most tropes that shouldn't work, like the weird family that don't get along, like it works here because a dad like this, a mom like this, a daughter like this, a brother like this, like, and it carries out so many universal truths, and I adored because of how insane it was. It manages to capture a lot of like a unique style that is popular right now for comedy, and make a movie that is basically timeless. And because of that, I adore the Mitchells versus the Machines. I cannot wait for the next Spider-Verse. But man, this was a good middle point. This is like what Malignant is to the Aquaman movies. That is what this is to the Spider-Verse movies. And man, I wish I had a long-winded story of how it touches like my childhood, but no, this just
A lot of
came up and
fun.
I had a blast. And I can't deny it. The Mitchells vs. the Machines is a home run. It's a blast. It's my favorite movie of the year. And it's probably not going to win at the Oscars for Best Animated, but God, I wish it did because it's so good. And everyone that worked on it deserves big old pat in the back because it's wonderful. So that's my number one, The Mitchells versus the Machines.
You know what? You got me in the mood.
I knew you were going to do that.
All right, we can't play it too much because others will get demonetized and taken up copyright.
Is that what you were looking for, right?
Yeah, that's what when I was listening to this, I was waiting for Rihanna's like part to end so I could pause it there and I could play it right after.
God, it's so good.
It put that song back in my head. No, Mitchell's and Machines, like I completely understand why. It was great. It was fun. It was entertaining. The animation was incredible. It was weirdly different animation. Like it was 3D animation, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does, but it was 3D, if that makes sense.
It was CGI, but it felt like they were drawn on paper first, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, also like it's weird. It felt like a world that you could almost like stick your hand at, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the anime films that we've talked, like Belle, for example, during the parts where they're human.
Yeah.
That's paper. You can feel like you can almost like be like, okay, that's flat. Mitchell's versus the Machines was so well made, like the shading and everything. It felt like it was a CGI world. Like it felt like a video game,
like a VR experience.
Yeah, like it was incredible. So no, I completely understand why I was your number one. Films are chiefly made to entertain, help us escape, help us feel these emotions, and fundamentally, Mitchell's versus the Machines, just did it for you.
Yeah. The great movie critic Roger Ebert once said that movies were empathy machines, and when I saw The Mitchells versus the Machines, I could see myself in it. Mm-hmm. And I adored it because of that. It reminded me of what it was like to be 17 and heading up to college and leaving your family. And man, it hit deep, and I adored it because of it. So that's my number one. And that is our show. That is our top 10
in the books.
It's another top 10, and this is kind of the thing that I look up. One of the things that I look up to the most this year. So this is it's great that we can keep doing this and that it hasn't stopped in a weird way.
Hey, I got a proposal for you.
All right.
So this top 10 was fun. How about we do another top 10 in a few months? But I'm thinking, would you want to do a top 10 animated films
of all time?
Our personal
top 10 list of animated films.
But I'll say, let me give a caveat. That way, 4 of my answers aren't predictable. We can only pick one per franchise.
One per franchise.
So like,
or one per studio.
One per franchise. If you've seen way more animated film than I have. So like, you can do one per studio. But I'm gonna limit it to one per franchise just because I don't want 4 of my entries to be Toy Story.
All right. That sounds fun. We could do that.
Top 10 animated films.
Any
animated film can count.
Any animated film can count. All right. Yes. I'm into it. All right. Look for that in the future.
The challenge has been dealt.
Challenge has been dealt. All right.
Also, I'm gonna just let you know this right now. I'm gonna try to be a good kid. I'm gonna limit myself to only one DC animated film. Also, just so that way my list isn't completely predictable.
So, that sucks. That you won't be able to put the Killing Joke in there.
Oh, that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, DC. How you disappoint me so. But yeah, that's our top 10 for 2021. Strong year in film. 2022 though, I think is going to be even better.
Hope so. That I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of things that we don't expect them. Like Mitchell's versus the Machines came out one weekend, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll watch this, and then it became my number one of the year. I hope that we have more moments like that. I hope we have more Fear Street moments. I hope we have more Malignant moments. Bless our soul if we get another Spider-Man. But this is going to be a great year. I can't wait to do another rollback year with you. And I guess this is it. Let's sign off.
So you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, really anywhere you get your podcasts. I also do a lot of YouTube reviews when I can be bothered.
And
that's
we
a
are
thumbs up.
available. We are available, yeah, like Eddie said, whatever podcast or so. We are on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes. You can see Eddie's face if you're into that, or you can hear our voices through here. You can see us 2 times a week, Fernie on Wednesdays, us on Saturdays. And yeah, that is our show. We'll come back next week and we'll talk about, we still don't know what we'll talk about, but it surely will be something. I feel like after the Oscars are over, we're gonna finally be able to talk about more new films. But so far, it's still the start of the year. So this is what you have. Yeah. So keep an eye out on that. My name was Chema,
I've been Eddie.
and this
Was the
was the
rollback.
rollback.
With a
Signing
reminder,
off with a reminder to do things with your friends. This started as a very stupid small thing, and it's somehow still going.
5 years later, still going.
5 years later, still going. So yeah, do things with your friends. Don't not do them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Jesus. All right. Penis.
I'm keeping that.
I wanted to end on something not cheesy.